Hi, this is JP from Now the Lights Over Arkham. Welcome to the last episode of this current environment playthrough series, and we are at the Heart of Madness Part 2. So I have done the setup for this scenario. We got 3 experience from our last scenario, and I used that to put a level 3 Moxie into the deck, and I removed 1 disguise to make room for the Moxie. So that is all the changes to my deck. We have 2 Tekelilies in our deck already from the last scenario. And if you want to see my deck list, you can go into the video description and you can find the link to the arkhamdb.com page where you can see the final deck list for this campaign run. So we are at the Heart of Madness Part 2, and this is a really, how should I say, messy scenario. There will be a lot of cards all over the place, and because the map layout is quite big, we have had to put the map like so. We have basically 3 circles of locations with 5 spokes. The spokes are a bit crooked because there's just not enough room on my playmat to have them like suggested, but hopefully we can you can make see where the locations are and which locations are connected. Basically this inner circle is connected like a circle, then there's another circle, and then another. So 5 spokes, and the spokes are of course connected. But yeah, we had to pick a random location to start from, and it had to be an ancient facility location. So we found ourselves in the protoplasmic pool, which basically doesn't do anything. We have already activated this rune here, which is here, so we don't have to activate it again. We ended the last scenario with 2 activated seals. Those are in play here, and we have 1 unactivated seal also, which we can activate if we want to, and we'll go from there. But yeah, we'll see how this goes, so without further delay, let's get started. Okay, so we are basically ready to start. Let's just go over the agenda and act card. So only for fluff text on the agenda card for now. 3 Doom Threshold, and we have only 1 act, which is Act 3, Collapse the Pylons. So each revealed mist pylon can be attacked as if it were an enemy. Its fight value is equal to its shroud value, and its health is equal to its clue value. While it has no health remaining, it is collapsed. It remains in play. And action or fast triggered ability: when you discover 1 or more clues at a mist pylon, spend those clues. Deal that much damage to that mist pylon. Objective at the end of the round: if each mist pylon is collapsed, advance this act. Okay, so we have randomly dealt out all the 5 mist pylons which we need to collapse to advance. That is our goal for the first part of this last scenario, and hopefully we can get to the last part. Just saying, I have never gotten to the last part in true solo, so we'll see how this goes. So let's start by drawing our opening hand. And we are continuing using Takada Hiroko. So she's the only resolute partner we have, and because actually we recorded that Amy Kensler has a plan, we can't even select Amy Kensler, but it will open up possibilities for us later on in the setup. For example, we had to resolve that because Amy Kensler cannot be chosen and Amy Kensler has a plan, we go directly to setup. If we didn't, then we would record Truth of the Mirage Eludes You, and that will cause some annoyance if you go that path. So getting Amy Kensler to have a plan is basically talking to her every time you have the interlude to be able to talk to the partners. So every time go at least once, or go to Amy Kensler first, then talk to whatever other partners you have, so that you can unlock this possibility. Okay, let's see our opening hand. So we have Manual Dexterity, Quick Getaway, Thieves Kit, Backstab, and Leo De Luca. Okay, well, we are keeping those two, and I'm drawing 3. Let's keep the Manual Dexterity. So 2 more cards, Savant and Lockpick. So okay, we are going heavily on investigative power, which is good because we need to be able to investigate a lot, and of course also evade. We are probably not fighting anything in this playthrough, but we'll see how this develops. So first thing first is to, I think this will be a quick setup turn. So first action, we will exhaust Takada Hiroko, get a resource, get 3 resources from Takada. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a cold, so I might be a little sniffly in this playthrough. So we will second action play Leo De Luca, and we get an extra action this round. Third action, we'll actually play Lockpicks. And last action, I think we'll move. We need a clue to enter here, so we'll actually use the Lockpicks to get this clue to be able to enter that location. So we are 7 versus 4, and we'll see how this test goes. And it is a -1. We have a seal at our location because we are carrying seals. The second is a -1, so we pass. So we break 1 lockpick because we didn't pass by 2 or more. But we'll get this clue. So that is our first turn. So no enemies will go to upkeep. We draw a card, and it is haunted. And we gain a resource. And we ready these assets. And that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add a Doom. Encounter card is Dissonant Voices. We can't play assets or events, so whatever. We are double actioning to get rid of Haunted. We'll use 1 clue to move to the first missed pylon. Choose round 3 clues, so it has 2 fight and 3 health basically, and fast trigger ability if you control the Trident seal, I guess, and it is activated. You unleash the seal's power, place the seal on this missed pylon. For the remainder of the game, each enemy gets -2 fight and -2 evade while in a missed pylon. Unfortunately, we don't have that pylon, and there's no way to get that, seal. There's no way to get that seal because the seals we didn't get in the last scenario have been removed from the game. So these are the only seals we have access to. Okay, well, last action, we are going to investigate using the lockpicks. We can't play anything or play events or anything like that. So 7 versus 2. Another cultist, so we reveal another token. And it is treated as a frost token, so we break a lockpick and don't get a clue. That's unfortunate. This goes away at the end of the turn. We'll go to upkeep, we draw, disguise, and we gain a resource. So that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add another Doom. Encounter card is Miasmatic Torment, so attach to a partner asset, and At the end of your turn, attach asset takes 1 damage or 1 horror, and we can get rid of this by testing willpower or book 3. If you succeed, discard Miasmic Torment. And unfortunately also this partner is exhausted, so we can't use her ability. Okay, well, that sucks a bit, but what can you do? I think we are just going to ignore that and play Thieves' Kit. This is because I don't want to lose my lockpicks, because there's only one left, so that will be my emergency aid for investigating from now on. Okay, so there's 6 supplies here. So second action, we will use the upgraded Thieves' Kit, so we get a +1 to our skill value, so we are 6 versus 4. So we're spending 1. Tablet is a -3. If you fail, draw the top card of the Tekelili deck. We don't fail. We get 1 resource. We don't get 2 resources because we didn't succeed by 2 or more. And we get a clue. We will investigate again. 6 versus 2. -1. We get 2 resources and 1 clue. And we will try to collapse this by investigating again. Actually, let's try to save our ally here. So I will use Savant and do a willpower test. So we are 6 versus 3. Okay, hopefully we can get rid of that. -3. So we actually pass and get rid of this, so that is good news. And no enemies will go to upkeep. We draw another Leo De Luca and gain a resource. So that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add a Doom, so the agenda unfortunately advances already. So we spawn 1 set-aside copy of the Nameless Madness enemy at the mist pylon nearest the investigator. So it is our location. And now this starts to get messy. So yeah. And if the Truth of the Mirage eludes you, we would read this, but we don't, because Kensler has a plan. Then that which has no name. Forced. When 1 or more Doom would be put into play if there are any copies of the Nameless Madness still set aside. Instead, spawn 1 set-aside copy of Nameless Madness at the location nearest to an investigator without a copy of that enemy that is connected to a location with a copy of that enemy, a mouthful. But basically, if we are at a location which doesn't have a Nameless Madness, we'll spawn 1 there, and if we are at a location, we spawn to the nearest location, and etc. So that is basically our Doom clock. We have 15 copies of that. So objective at the end of the round, if all 15 copies of Nameless Madness are in play and not every mist pylon is collapsed, advance this agenda. So that is basically when we lose. So let's look at the Nameless Madness. So it is 1 fight, 1 evade, Ancient Wand, Eidolon, Elite, Alert, Massive, Retaliate. The Nameless Madness cannot take damage. Forced after you successfully evade or attack the Nameless Madness. For each point you succeed by, exhaust the nearest ready copy of the Nameless Madness. So basically we do ripples of, if we evade a lot, we do ripples to all Nameless Madness copies, etc. Then we still need to draw the encounter card, which is Ancient Evils. So now we already put 1 copy of this into play. Okay, so first thing first, we will evade this. We are 5 versus 1, so not worried yet. Skull is... there is an ancient one enemy at our location, so it is -3, so we still succeed by 2. So this, let's see, -3, so yeah, we succeed, and we succeed by 1 more, so that is also evaded. Then we will investigate using the Thieves Kit, 6 versus 2. -4, if you fail by 3 or more, we don't. So we grab this clue, so this we get 1 resource and 1 clue, and yeah, this actually are spent the moment we get them. So they changed into damage, so that pylon has been collapsed. We'll move, we don't have a clue here, so that's a problem. We'll move over here to get a clue, so we can enter here. Okay, so yeah, we could activate the trident seal here, but we don't have that. So we move there, and we will use the Thieves Kit to get this clue here. We are 6 versus 3. It is a +1, so we actually get 2 resources out of that. And the clue. And that is our turn. No enemy actions will go to upkeep. These ready. The one thing I hate about this scenario is when we are getting further on in this scenario, there are a lot of these nameless madnesses here, so it takes a lot to keep them exhausted and unexhaust them all the time. So we draw a card, Fox Mask, that's great, and we gain a resource, so not struggling with the resources at all. And that is that round. Let's go to the next round. So we add a Doom, but instead of the Doom, we put this into play in our location. And the encounter card is Blasphemous Vision. So shuffle the top card of the Tekeli deck into your deck without looking at it. Then put Blasphemous Visions into play in your threat area. Resolve the effects of each Tekeli weakness you draw an additional time. And we can get rid of that with the willpower test, but I think for now we can just ignore it. Okay, so this round we want to move to the next. We could go to this mist pylon next. So we'll do that. First action, we'll move here, spend 1 clue to enter. 5 shrouds, 1 clue. Okay. And if you control the seal we don't have and this is activated, you unleash the seal's power. Place seal on this pylon, mist pylon for the remainder of the game. Reduce the shroud value of each mist pylon by 2. That would be really helpful, but unfortunately we don't have the correct seal. So, oh yeah, before we are able to move, we'll actually have to first evade. So 5 versus 1, -2, so we succeed by 2. Yeah, so all of these are evaded. Then we move as our second action. Third action, we will lockpick this location and we'll commit manual dexterity to the test. Actually, no. We'll play the Fox Mask. Then we will investigate, use 1 charge from the Fox Mask. We are, and we'll commit the manual dexterity so we don't break the lockpick. So we are 11 versus 5. -2. We don't break a lockpick. We will grab this, and that pylon has been collapsed. And that is our turn. No enemy actions. We'll go to upkeep. Oh yeah, we drew a card from the manual dexterity, Eon chart. Then we go to the upkeep. We draw scout ahead and gain a resource. This enemy is ready. And that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add 1 doom, so we add another Nameless Madness to our location. Okay, we draw an encounter card. It is Glimpse of the Unspeakable. Draw the top card of the Tekelili deck and resolve its effects and shuffle it into the Investigator's deck. So this will get resolved twice because of this. That's annoying. Discard 1 card at random from your hand, and we have to do it twice. Well, nothing really critical in our hand at the moment, so that's okay. So we'll just discard 2 cards at random from our hand. Those 2. Okay, Leo De Luca and Scout Ahead. Well, Scout Ahead would have been nice to have, but it is what it is. This gets shuffled into our deck. Okay, well, as usual, we will start by evading. I will evade 5 versus 1. First action. -2 and 5 versus 3, so we succeed. And by 2, so 1 and 2. Okay, that's good. Second action, we will actually play Disguise. This will help us to accumulate more exhaustion for those Nameless Madnesses. And that costs 3 resources. We are not really starving for resources thanks to the Thieves Kit. Then we will move over here. Vaulted Corridor, 3 Shroud, 1 Clue. Last action, we will lockpicks. No, we will play Eon chart because that helps us to get a free evade and free move. Oh yeah, and we left a location with an enemy, so we get 1 charge on our Fox Mask. And that costs 2 resources. And it has 3 secrets, so that will help us in the long run. Okay, no enemy actions. We'll go to upkeep. We draw Breaking and Entering. And we gain a resource. This enemy is ready. And that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add a Doom, so we add 1 Nameless Madness here. Encounter card is Unsealed Phantasm. So 5 fight, 5 health, and 4 evade monster Eidolon Shoggoth. Spawn the nearest mispylon that is not collapsed on or your location. Okay, so the nearest is that one. Okay, well, yeah, it's basically guarding that mist pylon. Okay. Well, first thing first, we will evade. And I'll use 1 charge from Disguise. So we get +2, 7 versus 1. Zero. So all of these are evaded. Then we will use Fox Mask and Lockpicks to grab this clue here. We are 9 versus 3. -1. We'll get this clue. Then we'll use the Ion chart to move and evade. And we'll use the disguise again. We are evading 7 versus 4. -1. So this enemy is evaded and it won't ready during the next upkeep. So that we have an extra turn here. Okay, so Shroud is 1, but there are 4 clues here. So this will take a moment to clear. No worries, and that was the Ion chart. So we did a move and an evade. Then we will, and this is exhausted. Then we will use the breaking and entering. Pay 2. We are investigating oh yeah, we left the location without investigator. So we are with an enemy, I mean. We are investigating 7 versus 1. Yeah, so we're up by 6. +1, we'll grab a clue. Oh yeah, and we had to spend 1 clue to enter here. So 1 damage. Then we will, and this returns into our hand at the end of the round. Then we will use the Fox Mask to investigate 4 versus 1. -2. We grab another clue here. And last action, I will use the Thieves Kit once. We are 5 versus 1. -1, we'll grab 2 resources. Get 1 more clue off of here. That pylon is down to 1 health. Okay. No enemy actions, we'll go to upkeep. We will draw Moxie, that's great, and we'll gain a resource. This doesn't ready, we'll just remove this. These all will ready. The disguise doesn't affect these because they are elite, so they just ready, but it helps us to evade more of them. And that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add a Doom, so we get another Nameless Madness here. Yeah, this is a messy scenario, because if you don't have a really big table for the map, the cards get cluttered. Okay, we draw Roots of the Earth. Test Agility 2. This test gets +1 difficulty for each location away from the gate of Qua you are. If you fail, take 2 damage. We are testing 5 versus 5 versus 3. I'm not going to boost this. 0, we just pass it, so nothing happens. Okay. First action. Let's see. If I do Ion chart and yeah, I'll do the Ion chart to evade. I'm evading 5 versus 1. And then I will investigate. So we evade, and 5 versus 1, we succeed by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That this guy is already evaded here. Okay, then we'll do the investigation. I think I'll want to guarantee this to succeed. So I'm using Fox Mask to boost my book. So 4 versus 1. And it is a +1, so we succeed. So this pylon has been collapsed. That's great. Then we'll do our first real action and move here. And the vaulted corridor. 1 clue here. And we will investigate using the lockpicks. And we left the location. And we'll play Moxie. That's a fast action. So we are 8 versus 3. -2, we don't break a lockpick. And we will move to this missed pylon here. Spend that clue. There's 2 clues here, Shroud of 3. And that is our, let's see. Well, we still have this last action. So I will play breaking and entering to investigate here. So we are, now we have 6, 7, 8 versus 3. Elder Sign, well, we succeed. And we'll grab 1 clue that changes into a damage. And this gets returned to our hand. We will go to upkeep, everything readies. Okay, so these, I'll ready them like so, because this starts hunting. Okay, we draw another breaking and entering, that's great, and we gain a resource. That is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add a doom, so we spawn a Nameless Madness over here. Encounter card for this round is another Blasphemous Visions. So now we will resolve each Tekelili twice, and we shuffle 1 more Tekelili card into our deck. Yeah, I really don't have the willpower icons to get rid of those, and don't have the time, so I'm just hoping they won't like destroy me utterly when I draw them. Okay. Let's see. That was the encounter card. So first thing first. The shroud here is 3. So I'm going to just evade. 6 versus 1. It is an auto fail. So this enemy has alert, so it hits us for 1 damage and 1 horror. I have the Moxie in play, so I will do this. Okay, that was bad. So we'll try again. Evading 6 versus 1. It is a frost token. Oh yeah, we could seal the... Okay, sorry, I could have sealed this for a free action here, which I will do. So now we don't take 1 horror because we are at a missed pylon. So this reads, if you control the fishhook seal and it is activated, you unleash the seal's power. Place the seal on this mist pylon. For the remainder of the game, whenever an investigator at a mist pylon would be dealt one or more damage and or horror, cancel one of that damage or horror. So we cancel one horror from that. Okay. 6 versus -4, we still succeed, but not a lot, by a lot. So at least this is evaded. And the next closest one. Okay. We will play breaking and entering. Oh, we could have done that. Well, it was an auto-fail, so maybe not. So we'll just investigate with that. So we are 8 versus 3. -2, that returns into our hand. We get this clue, so we destroy this pylon also. So one mist pylon left, so this is actually the closest I've been ever in this scenario. So we will just move to this ancient facility, 3 shroud, 1 clue, and end our round here. So this, let's see where this goes. At the end of the enemy phase, if Unleashed Phantasm is ready, move it once towards the mist pylon nearest to it that is not collapsed. So that is the closest one. So this basically moves here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it moves here because it can loop around from here. Then we'll go to upkeep. We draw Thieves' Kit. And now that I'm thinking, I could have sealed this here also. Oh, okay. So a bit of a backsies, but I could have just sealed this here as a free action. So we basically deal an additional damage each time we dealt damage, so it doesn't matter here. We already broken that normally, but now if that needs 2, we will destroy it by dealing 1. So yeah, sorry about, I forgot that crucial part there. But yeah, it's a free action, so it didn't affect our action economy. Okay, and we draw Backstab and gain a resource. So that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add a Doom, so we get a Nameless Madness over here. Encounter card is Miasmatic Torment, so I think now we'll just ignore that. Let her freeze to death. Okay, and it Takada is exhausted also. But that doesn't slow us down a bit. So we will use the last chart of the Eon chart to... Actually, we don't. Because we need this clue here also. So I am going to breaking and entering here. Yeah, we left the location with an enemy, so this gets 1 charge last round. Shroud of 3, so we're 8 versus 3. I'll go 10 versus 3. And of course, it's the auto fail. This doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. Well, but that sucks. Still, that sucks a lot. We'll play the other copy we have. We really need to get a success here. And I'm using the Fox Mass again. 10 versus 3. It is a -4. Let's count 10 versus 3, so 10 versus 7. So we get this back into our hand, we get this clue, we succeed by 3. So this and 3 copies. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we will use the Ion chart to get a free move over here and free investigate. And yeah, we're just, oh yeah, we left the location with an enemy. We could investigate 4x4. Okay, we'll just try 2 versus 4. We're not gonna make it. We failed it, but we'll use the lockpicks to investigate. No, we'll use the Thieves Kit. No, we'll use the lockpicks. We really need this clue now to advance. Okay, so we are 8 versus 4. -4. We break the lockpicks, but we get the clue, and we have this, so we deal 2 damage. So now all the mist pylons have been collapsed. And we get to actually advance this at the end of the round. Okay, so we still have 1 more action. Okay, I'll try this for my last action, and I will try it. Yeah, I have the Moxie, so I have 4 versus 3. And it's an Elder Sign, so we actually pass. So that goes away. Takada is saved again. And that is the end of our turn. So this hunts over here. I will go to upkeep, these enemies ready. And we'll draw a card. Grappling hook. And we gain a resource. And now we get to advance this self-destruction. Set all but 3 copies of the Nameless Madness aside. Each investigator loses all of their clues. We don't have any. Remove each location except the Gate of Yuqua from the game. Investigators and copies of the Nameless Madness are not defeated by this effect. All other cards and those locations are discarded. Put the 4 set-aside Titanic ramp locations into play in a straight line to the right of the Gate of Yuqua. Put the set-aside hidden tunnel location into play to the rightmost Titanic ramp. Place each investigator and each remaining copy of the Nameless Madness in play at the leftmost Titanic ramp. Remove the agenda deck from the game and advance to the set-aside Final Mirage. It is both the current act and the current agenda. So a lot to do there. So I will do that, all of that off camera. So we will see the map layout in the next round. At the beginning of the next round. So that is that round. Let's go to the next round. Okay, and we have done the mid-game setup here. So we put the Gate of Yuqua here, 4 Titanic ramp locations and the hidden tunnel at the end. And we start at the first Titanic ramp next to the Gate of Yuqua. And we have 3 copies of the Nameless Madness in play there. And that is basically where we continue. And we replace the agenda and act decks with the Final Mirage. The Nameless Madness gains Hunter. Fourth, when one or more Doom would be put into play, instead spawn one set-aside copy of the Nameless Madness at the leftmost investigator's location. Objective, run. So that is the deal here. So we need to keep those Nameless Madnesses off of our back and try to run out as fast as we can. This location reads the Titanic ramp is connected to the location to its left and right. As an additional cost for you to leave Titanic ramp, test Agility 3. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. Any investigator at your location or a connecting location may spend one clue to have automatically succeed at this test. So we need to also grab some clues because not all of these are agility tests. So that is the deal here. Okay, well, we add a Doom, so we get one more Nameless Madness here. So we need to evade all of those because now they have Hunters. They start coming after us. So I'm actually thinking of getting we will evade and use the disguise. Oh yeah, before we do anything like that, we need to resolve the encounter card for this round. And it is Primeval Terror. Test Willpower 2. This test gets +1 difficulty for each location away from the gates of your car you are. If you fail, take 2 horror. We are 4 versus 3 here. And I will just take the horror on Takada if I take it. Elder Sign, we succeed. And there is not an exhausted enemy at my location. Okay, well, that was a good one. So first action, we will use the disguise to evade. And we are 8 versus 1. Elder Sign. Well, that's some kind of redemption from the autofails I drew during the last part of this scenario. Then we will investigate. We will use Takada and gain a resource and gain 3 more resources. Then I will let's see. Okay. I'll play the Thieves Kit. And I will use Ion Jar. Oh, it's empty. I can't use it. Yeah, we are probably going to move next round. Oh yeah, evade, Takada. Let's not play the Thieves Kit yet. I think I want to try to get out of this location. So we will investigate. And I'm using the Thieves Kit. And we will investigate 7 versus 2. -1, we'll get 2 resources. And Yeah, that Thieves Kit is now empty. Last action, we will move, and I'll do the agility test. I'll use the Fox Mask to go 8 versus 3. Cultist and -1. So we pass. We'll get to move here. 1 shroud, 1 clue. We need to do an agility 4. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. Any investigator may spend clues. Okay, that's not a problem. No enemy actions will go to upkeep. We draw guts and we gain a resource. These enemies ready. And that is that round. Let's go to the next round. We add Nameless, Madness, and I think we still add them to our location. Yeah, to the leftmost investigator's location. So we have one of these here. Okay, then we get an encounter card and Roots of the Earth. And we left the location last round, so we had 1 extra charge on Fox Mask. So this is a test of agility 4. I'm not going to play the grappling hook, so I'm spending it. So we're 8 versus 4 instead of 6 versus 4. -1, we pass. And then we will continue by evading and investigating. Oh no, we will play breaking and entering. No, because that only automatically evades, so it doesn't evade the rest. No, it doesn't matter. There's only one here. So the others will hunt and we will be out of here. So we are playing the breaking and entering. So we are 6, 7, 8 versus 1. It is a frost token, so the other one is -1, so we pass. We get this back at the end of the round, and we get to auto evade this, grab this clue. Then we will move here. So I'm spending the Fox Mask and I'm getting 1 back because I try to leave a location. Well, let's first leave the location. So I am 8 versus 4. And I'll spend 1 to be 9 versus 4. 1 resource with the Moxie. Skull is -3, so we succeed. So we get to move here. And it is an agility 2 test now. So we get this back. And we will just keep moving. So we will move. I'll spend a clue. Agility 1 test. Oh yeah, there's a clue here and a clue here. So we'll just move to the hidden tunnel and spend a... we'll just do the test. And I'll spend... No, we don't need to spend anything. So we're 6 versus... Well, we'll go 7 versus 1. And it is -1, so we pass, so we get to move to the hidden tunnel. And hidden tunnel is gonna objective: if the undefeated investigator is at the hidden tunnel, advance the act. So that is actually the end. So we advance the act. Nameless reckoning. So you emerge from the tunnel, daylight blinding you as the sun peeks out from behind the jagged mountain tops in the distance. Behind you, the entity rushes towards the exit. You prepare yourself for the end, the wall of mist, miasma and madness feeling much like an oncoming train. Check the campaign log. If all 5 mist pylons were collapsed and Dr. Kensler has a plan, we go to resolution 1. So this is actually the first time I am able to read resolution 1. So yeah, let's read it actually. Suddenly there is a blast of warm air and a sound like a tremendous exhalation. The air shimmers with the distortion of a mirage, and you watch in shock as the rushing miasma suddenly recoils. It collapses upon itself and retreats back into the mountainside just as the avalanche begins. Bright blue cracks spread rapidly along the walls. Without the pylons, the integrity of not just the facility within the mountains, but the entire city is compromised. The icy floor cracks open. Cyclopean architecture of the alien city begins to sink into the snow. Then you hear it, the roaring engine of an airplane overhead. The last of Takada's 3 planes soars over the city, and a familiar shout echoes through the ancient ruined streets. There they are, by the tunnel, quickly! 2 sledge slides into view, pulled by the remainder of the dogs Elijah left at the barrier camp, and manned by several members of the crew of the Theodosia. You cannot hold back your surprise or joy at the sight. They motion frantically for you to join them, their gazes fixed on the collapsing mountain. At the last possible second, you hear another voice emanating from within the tunnel. "Wait!" Dr. Kensler emerges from the darkness, waving and hollering. "Wait for me!" She hops onto the sledge, and together you race off into the foothills as the city collapses into the ice behind you. One of the crewmates explains that they fixed up the last of the aeroplanes and decided to use it to look it for you, even knowing the risks. When we spotted you entering that huge cavern without most of your gear, we thought you might need a rescue. Didn't expect that to be quite this literal, he says. You tell him his timing couldn't be more perfect. The moment you make it back to the ice shelf, Dr. Kensler instructs the crew to prepare for departure. You barely even break down the barrier camp. It doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is getting out of this place with your lives intact, and with all the evidence you have found, of course. But still, you have questions. Once safely aboard the Theodosia, you confront Dr. Kensler and ask her what she did back in the facility. The entity was chasing you, and then, suddenly, "I told you, it's not a living creature," she explains. "As such, it cannot be killed, at least not by our standards, but it has some semblance of sentience. Yes, it knows our desires, our hopes, our fears." You note aloud what Dr. Kensler is using the present tense. She clenches her jaw. The slightest hint of distortion waves in the air around her. "I made a deal," she whispers. "It was the only way." In a campaign log record, the nameless madness is contained safely within its host for now. In the expedition team section of the campaign log, cross off Dr. Amy Kensler's name. In its place, write "the entity." In your campaign log, record the survivors of the expedition were and list the names of each member of the expedition team who is not crossed out of, along with each surviving investigator's name. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. Each investigator earns 10 bonus experience as they have saved reality from an unspeakable fate. The investigators win the campaign. And then we have the epilogue, but that's too much to read here. I'll let you to discover that on yourself. But yeah, I'm really happy with this current environment simulation, which I did with Kymani Jones, building a deck only using the 3 latest cycle of player cards and the revised core set. The deck worked beautifully in this campaign. One scenario didn't go that well. We didn't get Leo De Luca and we were wasting time trying to get the gear up the mountain. But yeah, that happens. Overall, I think this was the best playthrough of this campaign I have ever done. I think I have gotten the second best resolution in a 2-player campaign, but never won this campaign in true solo, but it can be done. And yeah, still not my favorite campaign because of the repetition of the scenarios, but still it's a decent campaign. So some like it more, some like it less. I'm maybe in the lower middle of the spectrum there, but that is Arkham. Everything can't be the best. Someone has to come last in the Olympics, so to speak. Well, it's maybe not the worst campaign overall, but it's if you have seen my overall ranking of all the campaigns, it is near the bottom of it, I think. But yeah, that was the Edge of the Earth campaign with the simulated current environment deck with Kymani Jones. Hope you guys like this playthrough. Leave a like, leave a follow. Thanks for watching, and until next time.